The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, sorry about that. We've been having some technical difficulties here. We're going to try to get this going. So this is Sean Jack. Thanks to everyone for joining today. We're actually going to be going through the AE&C training. See, we have February 9th. Today is actually the 11th. So we're here, and we just want to kind of first and foremost just to take a few items that I know some people have had questions on. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been requesting data from the team, from the sales organizations. We extracted information out of SAP to get all of your accounts. We asked that you add additional accounts to that list that may not have been in your SAP account list. And then last but not least, get your Outlook contacts tied to those accounts. So I appreciate everybody's efforts on getting the data into IT and to Andy and the team. They're diligently working on getting that data into the Salesforce tool, and my understanding is that ISG has received their Salesforce logons as of today, and NCG and ECG, the data is still coming in from the various sales members, and the IDs, the Salesforce IDs, have not been released yet. So for the NCG and ECG teams, you do not have your logins yet. We still need to get all the data incorporated into Salesforce, and our goal is to get that done ASAP. So apologize for the confusion on that front, but I just wanted to clarify that because I know a lot of people had questions along those lines. So with that being said, this training today is to highlight what Salesforce does, why Advantech's using Salesforce, and we're actually going to do an online training on how to use Salesforce in several areas. So we'll also highlight the mobile app, we'll highlight data.com, and then the RBU implementation timeline. And then last but not least, we'll have a short Q&A if we have time. I know Gwen is going to send out a formal invite for additional QA session sometime next week, as I'm imagining, and we're all imagining, that there's going to be a lot of questions from the different BUs as you start getting your hands on the tool. So we'll do another follow-up QA next week. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started here. If you look at the business requirements, why Salesforce, the investigation started in May of 2013 with Jeff Brown, the BU team lead for ACG. We all knew with an ACG that we were not using Siebel. There was a lot of challenges and concerns with Siebel, but we needed to get something that was better utilizing and being able to provide information through the organization, not only through ACG, but even back into ACL. So we looked at, we needed a single platform where we could manage our accounts, contacts, and leads, and manage, and for the team to be able to effectively manage their sales territories. We wanted to have sales and management needs, easy access to customer data with up-to-date account information. A lot of the things that we were learning was, a lot of the information that the sales team had was in Outlook, was in email, or was in Excel documents, or was in Word documents from quotes. And a lot of that information, in terms of RFPs and contracts, it was all dispersed over, the different salespeople's notebooks, and it was very difficult for us to collaborate and work together as a team and share information. So we felt like we were kind of tied to Outlook too heavily, and we wanted to have a CRM that could help us be a repository for a lot of these items and help us communicate on opportunities and allocate resources. So really that was the key element, was being able to understand where we are within the funnel of our opportunities, report that out, get more information on where we needed to allocate resources, not only from the local A&C effort, but more importantly from ACL, getting products validated, getting products through MPI so that we can close these deals. And that was really a key item, was we wanted to have real-time sales and opportunity reporting. We also wanted to have mobile access. So Siebel, if you're sitting behind a desk, all day for 8 hours or 12 hours or however long you're working, I think it's okay. But in our sales teams, we're mobile. We're out there seeing customers, seeing channel partners, working from home sometimes. Sometimes we're at a coffee shop or a restaurant or wherever, but you can access the CRM from anywhere. So we wanted to be able to have mobile access. And then last but not least, because Outlook is so widely used within our organization, within Advantech, it needed to be able to tie into Outlook. We needed to be able to update the CRM from Outlook. And Outlook's a powerful tool, so being able to tie that into Salesforce or into a CRM was very important. So these are the key items that we were looking at, and that's really why we dialed into Salesforce, because we felt Salesforce addressed these needs. So what's in it for you? Why to use Salesforce? We talked about, it is mobile, so you can use it from your iPad or any of your mobile devices via the Salesforce One app. You can go to via, the mobile and add accounts, contacts. You can update your opportunities. All of this correlates to saving you time, so you can spend more time with your families, doing things in your hobbies after the work hours instead of writing reports or trying to give your management team updates on where we stand or why we need resources assigned to a certain project. It gives you a clear view of your data. It's live data, so as you update it on your mobile app or within your notebook, whoever's on your team that can see that data, it's all real time. They can see it as you're updating it. There's also history tracking so that you can see who's changed the data over time. From an organizational stance, that was key for us as well. It's one place to track activities like tasks, events, email to the customer. It gives us a nice holistic view of what's going on within the opportunity or the account. Basically, all of your account information is available on one tool or one screen, which is great. So overview, what we want to do with regards to Salesforce here in this training, the salesforce.com, is really cover the basics. Some of you may have used Salesforce at previous companies that you've worked for. It's a fairly easy tool, but today we just want to cover some of the basics, make sure that you're comfortable with what resides in Salesforce and how to get that information there and extract it out. So if you look at the cloud definitions, Salesforce is in the cloud, and there's primary objects or tabs that you'll find within Salesforce. Typically, it's your accounts. That's the main backbone of Salesforce. That's where you're going to find your customer, our channel partners, the prospects. If it's not a customer yet, it's a prospect. And then also, you're going to be able to find your contacts. So those contacts will be associated with accounts. So for instance, if you have a customer XYZ, those contacts will be tied to that account. And then there's also opportunities. The opportunities will be linked to the accounts. So as you engage with, let's say, account XYZ, they're looking for a solution from your particular BU, you'll be able to track that opportunity on that account. You'll be able to identify what contacts you're working with on that opportunity from the account as well. And it's great for us because we'll be able to measure our funnels and see where we're at within the sales cycle, within the opportunity reporting. And then last but not least, there's also the leads. So leads, those come in from trade shows. Those could be from marketing campaigns. They could come in from, our channel partners. Basically, a lead is any individual or person that expresses interest in our products or our organization. And it's similar to like a business card. So, it's a contact record, but it's not tied to an account yet. So a lead will be qualified, and then once it's qualified or unqualified, it'll basically can be converted into an account and then into a contact record. It can also generate an opportunity. You can reassign leads, so we'll go through that briefly today as well. So really, those are the 4 pillars of Salesforce. There's others, but in terms of the core elements of Salesforce and what we're using, at least at this juncture in time, is these are the core elements. So how does Salesforce Sales Cloud work for Advantech? Again, if you look at it, you've got leads and you've got accounts, opportunities, and contacts. There's really 2 sides. So We talked about the backbone, that's the account side, and then the lead side is more of an unqualified person, and then we can convert that. So you can log activities on any of these objects, whether they're a lead, an opportunity, a contact, or an account. You can log like, hey, I called Jim Smith from Memorial Hospital, and he's interested in a POC. He wants to get an evaluation. So you can convert Jim Smith from, say, an URSA trade show, and you can convert him over to an opportunity and create an account for Memorial Hospital. And you can track that information. So Salesforce, the lead process is, the lead will come in as a person, and then it'll be converted either as a qualified lead or an unqualified lead. And the great thing about this is, for instance, like with trade shows that we have today, our marketing budgets, I was looking at ECG's marketing budget for 2015. I want to say it was over $200,000. And the lion's share of that budget is allocated to trade shows. So we're spending a large amount of money on trade shows, but to my knowledge, we don't really have a way to very quickly say, okay, this trade show like G2E, how many contacts did we pick up? We do know how many people swung through our booth, and we have a record of, like an Excel file of those contacts that showed up at our booth, but we don't really have a way to be able to say, okay, this individual, John Smith from account XYZ that's interested in a core product, actually converted into an actual demo. We actually shipped product. We actually booked an order, and now we can actually measure ROI, true ROI, on what we generated in terms of sales revenue out of that trade show. So from cradle to grave, we can see the success of a marketing trade show. Today, we don't have that. With going to Salesforce now, we'll be able to track that data and see it, and then we can make informed decisions in the future on, hey, was this the right trade show for us? Was this the right marketing campaign? How should we spend more dollars in this sector of our business because we're seeing nice fruitful returns? So Salesforce is going to enable us to do that. So you can see, again, once it's qualified, that contact record will be tied to an account, and then also could potentially be tied to an opportunity. Looking at the mobile access, again, I highlighted earlier, the apps are free on iTunes or Google Play. I believe there is a Windows Phone app as well. I don't have a Windows Phone, so I'm not sure where to find that, but I believe there is a Salesforce One app as well for Windows. So pretty much any mobile device now that we're carrying, smartphone or tablet, can have access to Salesforce. And then obviously if you're using your notebook or your desktop computer, just going through your web browser, Chrome, Firefox, or Internet Explorer, you can access Salesforce.com as well. So with that being said, I'm going to log into Salesforce. I'm going to show you some of the different elements that we highlighted in the previous slides. But basically, you can bookmark it. It's login.salesforce.com, or if you just go to salesforce.com, you'll be able to see the login area. And so I'm going to go ahead and go to that now. So again, if you go to salesforce.com, you can see in the upper right-hand corner, login. If you click that, you're going to be able to type in your username, your password, and then log into Salesforce. So as we mentioned earlier in the call, ISG sales teams should have their logins. So you guys should be able to log in and actually start looking at your data that's been imported from SAP, and then also your Outlook information. So you guys should be able to log in. The other BUs, unfortunately, we don't have your information in there yet, but they're working on it. So I'm already logged in. So once you log in, you'll basically go to your main page. You can customize this main page. Basically, you can see I'm on my home tab. So when you log in, you'll go to your home tab. You'll have your own dashboards. You can have your task and your calendar set up. You'll see some recent items that I've looked at. But basically, what I wanted to do on this training is show you how easy it is to use some of the different tools. So what we're going to highlight is, accounts. You can see my account list. My account list is quite small now because I just transitioned out of ACG. So I have a few key accounts that I'm still working on, CareFusion and Edwards, and now I'm picking up more activities with ECG. So more accounts will be added, but your account list will be much larger, I'm sure, and you'll have your accounts that you provided to Gwen and to the team. So you go into your account list, you can click on your account, and then dive into the account information. So this is an example of CareFusion. That's one of my key accounts. You can see CareFusion's already set up with an account number. This account number was pulled from SAP, so any accounts that are from SAP will be in there that you requested to be imported in. And then one of the things that I wanted to highlight is a lot of this information, especially this area here that says data.com, this is all pulled from a resource that we're paying for. So it's an uplifted prospecting tool. It actually, data.com used to be Jigsaw. So Salesforce.com acquired Jigsaw, and then they rebranded it as data.com. So we have several data.com licenses, and so I've pulled in the data.com information so that I can see a lot more about the background of the account. You can see they did $3.5 billion in annual revenue. It says they started in 2009. That's kind of interesting because CareFusion started from Cardinal Health. So Cardinal Health has been in business for many years, but then they spun out, and Cardinal Health spun out and created a different company called CareFusion. CareFusion actually was acquired by Becton Dickinson in Q4 of last year. Now they're a $12 billion company. So, but this gives you the idea of some of the different background information on CareFusion, the address of the account, some of the additional information. It is a customer today. The TAM, their annual spend, so that's the total available market. It says $300 million. I keyed this in. This is information that I gathered from talking to their supplier management team. So basically across their CareFusion business, they do over $300 million in electronic spending. And in terms of the serviceable available market, this is again an area that I keyed in. It's $30 million. So basically we look at, of that $300 million, we could service about 10% of that. And that's actually a number that the customer gave me. They said, look, Sean, if you guys execute here, you guys could be a $30 million supplier. So right now, last year, we did $10 million. So we have some opportunity for growth there. But the reason why I'm highlighting this is because, as you get into your accounts, your account profiling, and understanding, hey, these are my key accounts. This is where I want to spend, my lion's share of my time working. It's good to put this information in so that you can report back to your management team and the executive team like, hey, this is a strategic account. We have a lot of opportunities to grow here. This is why we should do X, Y, or Z. And as you communicate back to, your BU heads and WEAN, on those discussions, whether it's contract terms or, NRE, et cetera, these are good things to highlight. You can see the payment terms. We have them set up as net 45. The credit line, I don't have it highlighted here, but I can add that. I have to go in and check it with SAP. But a lot of the information, the basic information on the account is here. One area that I wanted to highlight, so this is an area that we added. It's called the Account Profile Scorecard. Basically, this is, again, a good way to very quickly be able to profile an account. Let's say it came in from a channel partner. One of your manufacturer's reps came in and said, hey, we have this opportunity at this account XYZ. Maybe it's an account that you've never heard of. You enter it into Salesforce. You pull in the data from data.com, but you could actually score it fairly easily just having some basic knowledge on the account. What are they? Do they have a vertical segment focus that aligns nicely to Advantech? If yes, it's a 1. Do they have good revenue potential? If it's greater than $5 million in terms of revenue, we would consider that to be a 2. If it's less than $1 million, it'd be a 0. Product unique function, does it perform a unique function? So, are they in a commodity business, or are they a market leader? Do they have a unique application that may not be as cost sensitive? So some of these things could determine whether it's a 1 or a 0. Basically, you answer these questions very quickly. You key them in, and then it'll add up to a total score. So you're going to be able to score the account. Right now, CareFusion's a 9, so a 9 out of 10. So it's a good prospect. It's an A prospect. So it shows us that, yeah, this is the right type of account where we should be spending time. You look down, you can see these are the contacts that are tied to the account. You can go into these, you can go into the list. The opportunities that we're currently working, we have 8 opportunities. So from the account page, you can see, high-level overview, like a holistic overview of the account. You can see, there's a sharing tab, so I can share the account with other people. If I go in and I edit the account, I can edit any of these fields. So it's very easy to edit and update this information. I can make changes to it. So that's the account piece. And, again, when you guys gain access to your information, there should be a load of accounts in there for you to start working. So the key thing is, you're going to have your contacts tied to your accounts. So if I go to my contacts within CareFusion, you can see there's a number of contacts that are already in there. And these are key contacts that, we put into the account because these are the people that we're currently working with on a number of different projects. So again, when you get your account login for Salesforce, what you should see today is your accounts and contacts tied to your accounts. What you'll need to do is, once you get into your accounts, you'll need to add opportunities. So I've already added opportunities for CareFusion, but let's say, for instance, you're logging in for the first time and you have your account. We're going to do this on CareFusion as an example, just to give you an idea of how the opportunity works. So let's just say CareFusion, let's call this drug compactor. I know, actually, that's a project that I'm working on right now. This is a net new opportunity, so you can see there's a drop down. Is it an existing opportunity? Is it a net new opportunity? Is this a next-gen upgrade? Or this may be a re-engaged opportunity, like it's a legacy opportunity, maybe we lost it in the past, but we're re-engaging. So, let's do this here. This is a net new opportunity. Are we working the account direct? Yes, we're not working through a channel partner. The estimated annual usage for this one, we'll just say 1K. I can put 1K in there, and then when I actually save it, it'll actually make it the number. So if it was like 1 million, you just do 1M. You don't have to type in, a million. So you can actually just do shorthand, abbreviated version like that, and it'll update it when you hit save. The target price, let's say for this drug compactor, it's a 7-inch risk-based solution. Let's just say it's $450. The estimated resale, this is if distribution's engaged. Disty's not engaged, so I'll leave this blank. But let's just say, just for the sake of this, let's say the distributor was working this. This wasn't a direct opportunity, so we unclick that. Let's say the distributor is going to sell this for $550. It's just nice to know what the distributor is selling the product for, what the customer's target price is. This particular opportunity, we're going to keep that blank, though, because, like I said, this is a direct opportunity. How many years is the project going to go? Customers aren't going to design a product typically and then be gone in a year. CareFusion typically wants 7-year life cycle, so we'll put 7 years. The kickoff project date, or the project kickoff date, you can put, let's just put today's date for now. When do you think you're going to close this? Let's say, it's going to be a year worth of development, NPI development. So let's say March of 2016. Let's do March 1st for now. When are you going to go into mass production? let's just say again March of 2016. So obviously you're going to get these dates from your customer or from your channel partner, and as you extract this information, you can update it into Salesforce. The stage right now, this is the initial discovery, and as you click on these drop downs, it's automatically going to update your probability percentage. So for instance, you can see initial discovery, we quoted or we submitted our proposal. An evaluation order has been received. The customer's evaluating hardware. The evaluation hardware has been approved. An NRE order or production PO is pending. NRE PO or production PO has been received. We're in EVT or DVT MPI development stages. So this is the first production has shipped. We're in EVT, DVT, first production units have been approved. As you go through these MPI gates, you're going to move the funnel along into a higher level of probability. So as you move these, so for instance, if we go to evaluation hardware approved, that's 50%. So the probability of you closing or winning this deal from our stance is you're about a 50% state of winning this opportunity. So right now we're just in the initial discovery, so it's low probability of winning, but we still want to be able to report out. And as we get more details on this drug compactor opportunity, we'll quote it, we'll submit our proposal, et cetera, and you can see that'll move it up to 20. But right now we're just in the initial discovery stage. Forecasted category, so this will be in my pipeline, my forecasted pipeline. Obviously we haven't lost it because it's a new opportunity, but if we did lose it at a later stage, let's say for instance CareFusion, we're in the initial discovery stage, but at a later date if I find out, you know what, they're not going to outsource this, they're just going to make this. Their own engineers are going to do their own design, and they're going to have like a CM make it. So it'd be make versus buy, so we lost it. Or we lost it because, you know what, we quoted our NRE, and we lost it because our NRE was too high, or our pricing was too high, or the project was canceled, or time to market. So you can see all of this data here. We can start reporting on where the opportunity is at in the pipeline. And that's key because, when we talk about resource allocation or, hey, we need to get ACL really ratcheted up on this deal because this is a nice sizable opportunity, we can quickly see where we're at in the pipeline, what we've done, and it's critical for us to be able to communicate this across the organization. If there's ODM potential, are we using a standard SKU or is this going to be a custom product? Yes, there is ODM opportunity here. What's the next step? So right now, determine if we can support WEC 2013 on I.MX6. So that's where we're at right now. So I just typed that in there. So open issues, support needed. This actually, just to give you guys a highlight, so the next step is what we're asking you to put in there, just kind of like a high-level detail of what you're working on, right? The open issues or support needed. When sales has your monthly review with your manager, really what we're doing is we're reporting out. And this particular field here is an opportunity for you to fill it out and say, hey, Ween, or hey, Jeff, or hey, Richard, or hey, Matt, whoever your manager is, this is a key element that I need your help on. This is something that's holding me up. So let's say, for instance, on this one, WEC 2013 BSP NRE. I already talked to our team, and ACL is saying it's going to be about a 40K NRE investment. So, that's an issue maybe. I mean, CareFusion may say, you know what, we don't want to pay 40K for the NRE for this BSP. So this is something where I could type that in, I could have a conversation, and it basically earmarks it so that, Ween, when I have a review with him, he knows, like, hey, this is something that Sean's raised up, he wants me to take a closer look at, and we should determine from a business, do we want to pass this NRE on to CareFusion, or is this something maybe we do like a rebate on, or we totally absorb it? There's a lot of conversations we could have, right? So I'll leave that there for now. But the description information, this is more description on what the opportunity is. So, this is for a drug compactor which will be used by pharmacies, hospitals, and labs where mixing of narcotics, medicines, and prescription drugs So this is kind of just a high-level detail, right, of what this thing does, the application or description of what it does. CFN is in the mode of data collection at this stage, working with R&D to determine how we can support. Okay, so this is kind of just a high-level detail. Now we get into the actual meat and potatoes of what product, right? And so, if you're in ISG or you're in ACG or ECG or NCG or whatever, it doesn't really matter. I mean, a lot of times we have cross-BU registrations. We all know that. It could be a premier key account, so you can sell pretty much anything Advantech at that account. So within the product information, you're going to see product solution A and product solution B. What is that? What that means is, for instance, I could be leading with an ECG, DMS type of solution, or maybe an ECG risk. Maybe I'm just looking at a risk module, the ROM 7420, which is an I.MX6 Q7 module. But, I'm also maybe working with, ACG DMS or ECG DMS or, DTOS. I mean, there's a lot of things that, can play into how this opportunity is going to be built, right? And then whose solution are you leading with? Right now we're talking to them about the module, but the module may turn into this. So at a later stage, we may unclick that and click this, right? This is going to be 7-inch LCD plus Q7 module plus ODM carrier board and BSP. So you can put in there what the different solutions are, right? So we've done drop downs for the different BUs. We've tried to select the products from these different BUs. If you guys see that there's something missing, what we would ask is you would report that to your team lead. So each BU has a team lead for Salesforce, and then that team lead can work with IT and the teams to update some of these drop downs. But for this opportunity, we'll just very quickly show you that. The competitor, let's say there's a competitor. Well, we put in some competitors. Now, we don't have every competitor under the sun, so it could be other, But let's just say, for instance, on this one, let's say it's Cognitech. They have a Q7 I.MX6. And let's say we know their price is $125. You can put some additional comments. Maybe Cognitech has WEC 2013 BSP ready. This is causing concerns from CFN R&D, given we do not have said BSP off the shelf. So, this gives you an idea. So you can type in some information here. This gives your PM team some visibility on the opportunity at hand, who the competitors are. Maybe we're at, our solution, we put up here 450. This is for an ODM, but let's just say going back down on the module itself, let's say the module is our lead, right? Take this off of the ODM piece, and let's just say we're just looking at a module, and our module's, let's just say 145. So then the PM team can say, okay, well, Sean, you're trying to sell us for 145. Cognitech's at 125. Okay, now we get a better understanding of where we are. We're $20 more, et cetera, et cetera. So you can report that information. So for this, though, we'll put, let's just call this an ODM solution. It's a higher level assembly. Let's click that off. Say this is a DTOS solution. The channel information, if you have the channel involved, up here we have that it's direct, but let's say the channel is engaged. I mean, it could be direct, and you could be just selling direct with the manufacturer's rep. So one of the things that we want to highlight is the channel. So the manufacturer's rep, are they involved? Click yes or no. The manufacturer's rep company, let's say that I'm working with Vision. So you can see Vision Technical Sales. So the sales rep person, I don't know if Andy has anybody from yeah, it doesn't look like they've imported the Vision Technical Sales contacts. Let's say it's Bert Gordon. Oh, he is in there. I don't know why I didn't find him. That's interesting. The rep commission percentage, I don't know the contract, but typically we want to put this in there just so that we know. So 3%. And then, the reason why this field's here is we've had issues in other territories or examples in the past where, as the solution got competitive, we had to reduce the rep's commission rate. So we want to be able to track that here. When did we notify the rep? Let's say, the standard rep agreement is 3%, but because we're facing stiff competition from Cognitech, we need to reduce this down to 2%. So it goes to 2%, and we notified them today. Hey, Bert, sorry, but we just reduced our price from, $450 down to $365, and now, we need to reduce your rep commission by 1%. So those kind of communication, we can capture that when that was done, when the date was done here. So from a sales rep side, we need to be tracking this information. So the supplier partner, are we working with the supplier? This is a free scale opportunity. Let's say I'm engaging the free scale FAE as well. So you can put that there. This distributor, you can leave this blank because on this particular opportunity, we're working in direct with Vision and Freescale. But let's say, for instance, all of a sudden CareFusion came back and said, you know what, on this opportunity we want to work with Avnet. So we can type in Avnet, and you can see Avnet here. And then the distributor salesperson, let's just say, Shane. I don't know if he's in here or not. Shane Schaefer. Yeah. So let's say I'm working with Shane Schaefer from Avnet. See, a lot of these people from Avnet are already in there. I mean, a lot of the channel contacts are already in there. So you just need to search for them and then put them in there. Let's say they registered it. You have the registration number from operations. So Peter or Gwen shared the registration number with you. Let's just call this XYZ or XYZ123. The registration date was today. Usually expires in 6 months, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so August 11th. And you can get this information from ops. So, you can put that in there. We can track the registration. The reason why we want to do this is because, again, right now what we're doing with the channel teams is, they're asking us to update them on their opportunity reports with their registrations. So if we update this in Salesforce, then we can very easily report out, and you don't have to manually update, Jeff Lasowski or Al Zalasko or Rebecca O'Brien or the team there on where you're at with your different registered projects. So you can see kind of the channel information. If you're not engaged with the channel, obviously all this would be blank, but I'm just showing you this as an example now. The other area within the opportunity table is the design win. So design win submit date. This is good for sales because, now we're budgeted for design wins. And so as the opportunity progresses, one of the key elements within the guidelines that Christine shared last year for being paid on design wins is, when, did we actually get an NRE payment? So let's say we got the NRE order, or we already have the NRE PO, so now this jumps up to 70%, and I want to submit this as a design win. So I could submit it today as a design win. So I could say, hey, I submitted this as a design win, it's pending, and then as you have your reviews with your management team, you can talk to them about, hey, this is my submission, this should be under review, can we look at it? And then, your manager would say, okay, yeah, we received it, it's open now, and now we're tracking it. We actually do have the NRE, and the NRE, let's say the NRE was $45K, so you can track that information. And so, you can track this over time, and then it can be confirmed, and then a payment on that design win could be made. So you can see how this would be working over time. The additional information, like if this came over from a lead, I haven't shown you that yet, but let's say this particular opportunity, this drug compactor opportunity, came over from a trade show. That we could actually track that information on where that came from. So for this, I'll just save this now so you can see it, how this updates, and we'll go through the information. But you can see I had 1K here, now it says 1,000. You can see that it automatically calculated the estimated annual revenue for this project is $365K. The value of the project over a 7-year life is $2.5 million. So it automatically does these calculations for you. You can see in the design win piece, it takes the estimated sales revenue over the first 15 months is $456K. So you would be paid out accordingly to this number. So we look at, what's the estimated revenue over the first 15 months of production, or the sales revenue over the course of the first 3 years. So these are the numbers that operations and management looks at to determine what your payout is for the design win. So now that the opportunity is created, you can see there's a lot more information that pops up. So now you can start tracking, notes and attachments. You can do new notes like, I had a discussion with the PM, and they're looking at getting us samples. You could put that in here. You can do task. So a new task would be, I need to get a quote out, or I need to do a proposal. So you can actually create these tasks and send those out. You can see you can create a log of call. So, hey, I had a call with the main contact at this opportunity. So right now this shows that there's no contact that's tied to the opportunity, but if I want to add somebody, I can go down and look through my contacts. Is this individual currently on the account, yes or no? And you can see that there's a number of contacts that I could tie. Unfortunately, I'm not using my laptop. I just realized, so I can't show you how it ties into Outlook. But if I had my own laptop here and I had Outlook, I could go into my Outlook email and click on the individual, David, who I don't have in Salesforce. He's one of the key guys that I'm working with on this project, and tie David into the opportunity straight from Outlook. So I could take his email, I could make him the primary contact on the opportunity, on this drug compactor opportunity, through the Salesforce for Outlook client. You know, you can add partners if there's new partners that you're working with. And you can see here, you know, the stage. So this is, you know, this is the opportunity. This is the meat and potatoes of what sales will be doing. You know, once you get your logins, the key element for you and the team is to be able to take your logins, go into your accounts, go into your opportunities, or go into your accounts, go into your contacts, make sure that your data has been imported, and then go into your key accounts and your opportunity and start creating your opportunities. So just like I created an opportunity record here, that's one of the key elements that we'll be asking you to do. So that's the opportunity piece. So we covered accounts, contacts, and opportunities. Really quickly, I want to show you Data.com. So Data.com is a tool that we pay for. It's an uplifted service out of Salesforce. So pretty much all the sales team will have a Sales Cloud login, but not everybody will have Data.com. So Data.com is a prospecting tool, and I want to show you the power of Data.com because I'll give you an example. I haven't put this account in yet, but Rosen Aviation came in as an opportunity in the last week. So I want to show you how this works. So I typed in Rosen Aviation into Find Accounts. And so you can see here Rosen Aviation came up in 3 different areas. So, you know, that's not uncommon. You know, companies will have multiple modalities. I mean, Advantech has multiple offices across the U.S. This particular Rosen Aviation opportunity that we're working is with the team in Eugene, Oregon. And so you can see they already have 17 contacts for Rosen Aviation. So if I click on Rosen Aviation, this is the information that's in Data.com. It gives you their website, their phone number, their address, tells you they're a manufacturing company. They have 42 employees. The revenue is pretty small. It's only $6.5 million. And this is being reported from Hoover's and D&B. So just because it says it's $6.5 million, it's not always 100% accurate, but at least it gives you a data point. It's a private company. This is a single location. And there's not a whole lot of people here in Data.com, but there are 17 contacts. There are some additional information from D&B, the Dun & Bradstreet number, the SIC code, NAICS code. You can see they do aircraft parts and equipment. Basically what they're doing PCs or aircraft servers for in-flight entertainment, and then they also do touchscreens for basically Gulfstreams and high-end jets, personal jets. So this is what they do. So they're currently actually, this is a lead that came in actually from Aonline, and you know what I want to show you is how I can actually create now Rosen Aviation. I can add them to Salesforce. So I clicked on that. Sorry. And I want to add to Salesforce. Now, I can go to the account, and you can see Rosen Aviation is now set up in Salesforce as an account. Now, I can go back to data.com, and I want to show you how you can work, contacts as well. So let's say Rosen Aviation. So there was 17 contacts from the Eugene, Oregon location. So you can see these guys here, right? Guys and gals. So you can look at here, you can say, okay, is there anybody here that I want to reach out to or talk to at Rosen Aviation? You can see, here's a VP. So maybe I want to reach out to Darren Sparks. So click on him, and I want to add selected as a lead, or maybe it's already a contact. Maybe I already know Darren, but let's put this as a lead. So I can add this as a lead and go to leads. And so now Darren Sparks is a lead. So as we talked about earlier, you go through the process of qualifying the lead and then converting that lead into either a contact record, which is tied to an account, or you actually can say, hey, this is unqualified. Darren may no longer work there. So you can see here, let's look at his. Okay, so I'm using Brian's laptop here, so I'm not logged in as myself. So if you have your LinkedIn login and you're using data.com, you can actually see it can look for Darren Sparks on LinkedIn at Rosen Aviation. So that's a great way to see, okay, is Darren Sparks still at Rosen? You can see maybe he moved into a different area within Rosen, or maybe he left Rosen and he's at a different company, and LinkedIn won't find it. So just because it's in data.com doesn't mean it's 100% accurate, but it's a good starting point. And you can see, Darren has his email here. There's his phone number. And then now let's go ahead and just edit this lead as an example. So this is open. It's not contacted yet. Let's say I gave Darren a call and it's qualified. The vertical market that they're in. So this needs to be updated in the lead, the drop-down. So we don't have these updated yet, but we will. Let's just put other for now. Other vertical market, aviation. This came over from, it says Jigsaw because data.com used to be Jigsaw, so it came over from Jigsaw, but let's say it came over from AOnline. As I mentioned, AOnline actually gave me this contact lead. It wasn't Darren Sparks, it was another individual, but I'm just showing you how data.com works. But let's say it's, Mark Smith. And, sorry, hit the wrong button. This is what happens when I don't use my laptop. So let's say this is M. Smith, and it came over from AOnline as a lead. Lead comments, interested in risk, ROM-based module. If you reach out to the person and they're like, hey, you know what, I don't know how you got my information, I'm not interested, you can actually you can say, hey, do not call these people anymore, they want to email opt out. You can put some of these things in there as well. But basically, let's say I called Mark Smith and the rating was, hey, this is hot, they have a real project, the lead source was from AOnline, and there's a new opportunity. So I can save this. So the lead's here. Now I can actually do activities on the lead, right? So maybe a new task is I need to work with Sean Fan on, a quote or a deliverable. You can see, I logged a call with Mark Smith. So called Mark, and he is interested in a quote. So you can log your calls. You can actually, like I mentioned before, there is an Outlook tool that as you do your task or as you do emails to Mark, you can tie that, and it automatically updates these records very easily. We are going to do the training on that today. We'll do that at a follow-up training. But in terms of open activities, the new task, ROM quote for Rosen. So you can see, this is actually now it's a task. So this will sync up with my Outlook and add this as a task in my Outlook. And then when I log into Salesforce as well, you go to your home, it'll actually show this as tasks that I need to do. So you can see there's ways to update this. Let's say I quoted this, so I want to convert this. This is a qualified lead. It's qualified. And I want to convert it as a new opportunity upon conversion. And send email to the owner. That would be me. I mean, you can actually reassign this lead to somebody else in your organization. The task information, follow up on quote for ROM. Let's say that due date's tomorrow. Send quote to Mark today. Circle back and ensure he has no questions about the quote or deliverables. So I convert this. So I want to show you this because now that the lead is converted, right? So we brought this in from data.com, or the lead came in from a trade show, or it came in from A-Online. It's a lead. We qualified it. Now Mark is going to be tied to Rosen Aviation. So you can see now Mark Smith, he's a VP. He's tied to the account, right? You can see the open activities. This is all on the account as well. And so now I can create a new opportunity. And just like we went through earlier, I could create an opportunity on the module and what Mark's interested in. So you can kind of see how we take these leads from cradle to grave. I mean, we can create them, we can delete them or kill them off if they're unqualified. We can reassign them if, hey, you know what, this isn't a good lead for me. Maybe this is an ISG lead. I need to send it over to Hayden because this is a Eugene, Oregon account. And, they were interested in a module, but we found out that they're actually interested in more of a high-level server. So I can transition this lead over to Hayden Thomas. So the way that Salesforce works is it's pretty intuitive. It's not rocket science. The fields are there. There are some mandatory fields that you'll see on different objects or forms, and those are typically highlighted with this red bar on the left. You can see it's required information. So if I tried to save this, it's going to give me an error because I didn't update these mandatory fields. So as long as you update the mandatory fields, those are the critical elements. But as you report out your opportunities on a monthly basis, we highly encourage you to be accurate with regards to filling out the information, because the more accurate and detailed you are, the less requests you're going to get from like channel or from operations or from your management teams or your PMs asking you questions or updates on these ops, because the organizations are going to be going into Salesforce looking for updates or reporting out information, and if it's incomplete, there's going to be questions. So that really completes the training for today. I went through a lot of information. I believe, again, over the next several days, not only ISG but ECG and NCG will be getting their access and their logons. We'd highly recommend that you take a look at the PowerPoint that we have today, because there are a number of backup slides that really talk about, the different objects and fields that we talked about today in this training. So I'd recommend you take a look at that. And then, before I close, I just want to highlight, where we're at with regards to the onboarding timeline. So we've already passed through the January gate. We were trying to get all the data integrated in January. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. We're in February now. We are in this training and rollout stage. So what we're going to be doing now is asking sales and the team to start logging in, putting your opportunities in there so that we can get good reports out of the tables, or out of the opportunities and the accounts. And then, we'll be following up with additional trainings and QA sessions to really establish more of the ground rules, highlighting how we can do Outlook integration. That's really key, because so many people live and die in Outlook today within our business. So being able to update Salesforce via Outlook is a key element that, again, we didn't highlight today, but we will highlight on another training. And we'll also get into how you report out data. But again, the timeline is we'd like to have this rolled out fully this month. You update your opportunities so that we can start reporting out and really doing reviews in March. And if you have any questions, I think it's key to highlight who the core implementation team is. So each BU, we've identified a team lead. So you can see those on this slide. And then within the core functions of the business, IT, sales, and ops, they're all working in lockstep. And they may be focused on certain facets or objects within Salesforce. Really what we'd encourage you to do is, if you have questions, you have concerns, or you see something that's missing or broken within Salesforce, reach out to your team lead. Maybe copy, let's say, for instance, if it's a data.com question, or, hey, I want access to data.com, send it to your team lead, and also maybe copy IT. If it's a question about dashboards or leads or tasks or even reporting, you can reach out to sales, the SC team, and ops. If it's questions about the channel or the contracts, because we'll be putting contracts into Salesforce, talk to ops about that. They can help guide you on that. And we'll actually be sending out SOPs on how to do these different things. So it should help you with regards to using Salesforce. So with that being said, I'm done. I don't know if there's questions. We'll look here at the chat. Question is, how much longer will it go? Sorry, Jeff, I ran over. It's 12:17, so I'm done. If you guys need to drop, feel free to drop. Glenn asked a question, what are the different selections in forecast category? The forecast category, right now we're not doing forecasting out of Salesforce, so just use the default. So it shows up in your pipeline, but we're not doing hardcore forecasting out of Salesforce, at least yet. We don't have a formal SOP on that. So the primary thing is, you're doing your opportunity, you need to pick and choose where the opportunity is at.